Today we're going to talk about a topic which is near and dear to both you and I, but to all of WindowMaster, which is our sustainability report for 2023. Just maybe a round of intros first for everybody. So my name is Mia. I am WindowMaster's CBDO. You are Erik Boyter, WindowMaster's CEO.
Yes.
And we are going to talk a little bit about a few topics that are in this sustainability report to give a little teaser, to give a little summary of what's in the report for those who maybe would be interested in diving into the full report today. But a sustainability report for a company such as the size of WindowMaster is not required. WindowMaster has been doing a sustainability report since 2020. Why does WindowMaster do a sustainability report? Why is it an important document and tool that we have dedicated a lot of time and effort into creating? What is that about?
Well, I can elaborate on that.
Yeah.
Because you can say the word sustainability is something that we are on a journey in the company. We are on a sustainability journey. But we are also a company that has a strong purpose with our solutions and products that have a great impact on the building industry. Mm-hmm. And you could say our purpose is to help the building industry achieve its sustainability goals. And that's something we are part of. Mm-hmm. And when you are part of that, then it is also quite important that you also act accordingly. And that's why you can say the purpose for WindowMaster is both on the solutions, the products, but it's certainly also on how we act. And then you could say the sustainability report actually integrates all that, what I've just explained. It is also something that, now it's the third report we are doing.
We did our first one in 2020.
2020, yeah. So we're on the fourth, yes.
Mm-hmm. We're going into the fourth.
Yeah. So it's quite important that we can follow, the trajectory of our efforts in the business on many, you could say, KPIs in the sustainability reporting. You could also say that one of the things that is actually very close to me and the company is that this word about being a very good global citizen. And being a global citizen is the individual's choice, but it's certainly also a business choice to be a good global citizen. And here we have a stance that even though we are a small company, then we have an impact. So we have to also strive the best about sustainability. That has to drive also through all the business or the company, wherever we are in markets and in individual offices, etc. So we have decided, even though we are a SME company, that the reporting, which we know will come more and more on the sustainability side, then I think we are in the forefront of what we have to do, because it's all about being this good global citizen.
So even though an SME, you can still do your part to make the effort and to have an impact. And to do the impact, that's also part of having a report and to follow up and to use your transparency tools to see how your progress is going. So this is also a progress report for us in some ways.
That's correct. It's all about seeing what we do better all the time, going forward. One area I didn't mention before is also we've talked about us as a company, and but we also see more and more in the markets we're in that suppliers of solutions to buildings are required to be a good global citizen and could be and also can show their impact on emissions and on the not only you would say on the environmental KPIs, but also on the social and the government's KPIs, and that's what we do in this report.
And we take it very seriously. So I'm excited to dive into this year's report with you, Erik. Let's start off with, in the beginning, the report opens up with a letter from the CEO. And one of the first things the letter talks about is our involvement, at least on the local level here in Denmark, on impacting and urging local government to provide more stringent regulation in the building industry. Two questions. First one, why does WindowMaster involve itself in that? And then the second one is, what do we want to get out of it? So let's start with the first one, the why.
Yeah, but why is also because you could say we address a market in the building industry, and it's a global industry, but it's also, you can say, Denmark is our home market, and then next is also the European Union. So those two is an area that we try to influence as good as we can. And why do we want to influence? It's also because we want to, again, be a good global citizen, but of course not to miss that it's also perfect for our business that there is a good regulation that actually promotes sustainable solutions and solutions that can help reduce emissions and so on. And that's also what we bring to the market. So it's about the regulatory areas that we are trying to impact, but it's certainly also that will also have a very good effect on our growth as a business on the other two areas there.
So what does WindowMaster hope to achieve out of being involved in this more political landscape when it comes to the both local and the EU-based building regulations?
Yeah, you could say as a small company, SME, what can we impact? But it's a little bit like saying, Denmark. Why is Denmark, wants to be a leader in sustainability and clean tech solutions, and why should we have controlled emissions and go for net zero? Because we're only a small country in the whole world. So what does it matter? But that's what I also see as a parallel to a company like WindowMaster. We have to go in. We also have to fight for getting better legislation for reductions in CO2 emissions. And that's why we have last year actually signed ourselves to two, I would say, important platforms, you would say. And the first one is the CEO letter that has been done and signed by many CEOs in Denmark and other places in the world, and is part of the United Nations Global Compact Network. And here we are committing ourselves to making governments do even more to improve the legislation for sustainability and also for reducing emissions all over. And you could say also on the social and regulatory frameworks that exist for the good of people and the whole world.
Something WindowMaster also takes very seriously. We're part of the UN Global Compact. That's a big part of the report also, that the reader can see what is our update when it comes to the goals that we have chosen for the UN Global Compact.
Yes, you could say the report is also our recognition and our statement of what we have done for being a member of the Global Compact. So it's it's a bit of what have we done and what have we achieved. Another area that, and I mentioned before, we've signed up to two things is also the the reduction roadmap, which is a Danish initiative, and it's a great way to show that we really have to strive for strong commitments in the reduction of CO2 emissions in buildings. The Danish legislations now state that, and this is number game here, is at 12 kilo CO2 per 1,000 square meter in new builds, over 1,000 meters, and 1,000 square meters, and the reduction roadmap says 5.8, 5.8, which is also a way down, but that is actually what is necessary if we want to really achieve the you can say the targets of the Paris Agreement, and that's why we have signed up, because we want also we want the government also to recognize that we need strong governance on this area, and we've done this with many companies, and this is also where I say that governments, and even our Danish government here, should be in the forefront and really go in and think about this and not be too political, and it's all about voters and so on. We need strong leaders that can go in the front and show leadership.
WindowMaster is here to provide those innovative technologies to help the building industry achieve even those more stringent standards. So we're here. There are innovative technologies that can help achieve these measures.
Yeah, and that's also one of the things sometimes we hear a lot about. Yeah, but we have to find the technologies, and it's going to be a hockey stick towards the end and so on. Yeah, actually, many companies have very good solutions, and we're actually ready to meet the reductions on the reduction roadmaps targets, and that's easily done for many in many building projects. So it's just about doing it. Yeah.
Going from a more political landscape to taking it back very home to WindowMaster, which is I want to start talking a little bit about a product landscape. Hardware is the core of WindowMaster. We are here to provide excellence within automation for the facade industry, primarily for natural ventilation, but also for heat and smoke solutions. The report, a sustainability report, also gives a great elaboration on our products when it comes to a system called Take Back. Can you give a little bit of elaboration on what is the Take Back system and why have we created it?
Yeah, it's also because what we are starting to see is this recycling of all the materials that are used in our products. And in 2022, we actually decided to implement a take-back strategy. That meant that we, from 1st of January 2023, those products we sold, we would take back when they were kind of obsolete or
end of their life.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. End of life is a long time for our product because they're quite good quality, yeah. And so we have actually done this commitment, and it's all about doing our bit for what the products we have supplied the market, and this is hardware. It's basically it's our actuator program, it's our controls and so on. And there we have actually said that we would take them back when, as you say, end of life. But judging by what we have seen in the past, that life can be 10, 15 years. And it's not, normally it's not because of the products, you could say, don't function. It's the technology has improved, so there are new products that would do the work even better with less, using less electricity, and also has much better impact on the building environment. So we have decided to take this back, and what we have then we can then recycle as much as possible. An example I could say is also that if you take one of our motors, about 94% of the product, when you take it apart, can actually be recycled.
Fantastic. And there's a reference case in the sustainability report called the Cube. What was the recyclability in that one?
Yeah, the Cube is actually a interesting refurbishment project we had undertaken in Copenhagen. And we wanted to, the project was to retrofit the whole natural ventilation system and the heat and smoke system they had. And what we did in this case here, we everything we took down, we have actually returned to a partner that does the recycling. And 88% of the what we took back could be used for recycling, and then 11.7% could be used for energy recovery, and the last 0.3% is actually landfill. So I think that's actually a quite good exercise. So it's not much that. So if we can do more of this, then it would really impact our footprint in the industry.
And then an example that's just getting started, right? It's a process and a structure and a system that we've set up, and now that works at least in its early stages with partners, local partners that help us to execute the full process. Right now, just in Denmark, but our intent is to look into getting it going in other markets as well.
Correct.
In the future.
Yeah. But just adding on to what you're saying there. Yeah, we are doing this first of all in Denmark, and we gradually roll it out to other markets. But it's also we also must say here that it also depends on how we are selling the product, because part of our products go to distributors, or we could say integrators around, and there we don't necessarily have the same control of the return, but we are very, very dependent on our distribution system here.
But when you need innovative products, you need people who can create these innovative, not only the design of it, but the production of it, the sale of it, the marketing of it, and to get people motivated, and also to retain them and to develop our employees. We have rolled out also a function called People and Culture in WindowMaster, which is also described in the report. Why focus? Give some more words to that, Erik. It's a new functionality that we have in WindowMaster. What do you hope to achieve with People and Culture?
Yeah. Here we have to take a step back and look at the frameworks of the new CSRD, which is a kind of framework for reporting on the sustainability, ESG, which is coming into force and is coming into force for SMEs at a certain time. But for bigger companies, it's already here. This is the first year they have to do it. So that answers a little bit the question. But during this CSRD, we also have to do what you call double materiality assessment. And here we're looking at financial impacts and also other important factors. So there we actually, when we did this assessment 2 years ago, we actually found out that people is a very important area for WindowMaster, because without people we cannot grow our business. And that's why we have this emphasis and much more now on people. And that was why we implemented a new function in WindowMaster, and it's even being It's even a part of the role is part of the management team. So it's high up. It's not just a function somewhere. It's a part. That is actively working in the business, and it's all about looking at how we can develop our people. It's about recruitment. It's about retention. So there's a big focus on this, and also the development of the individual in the company, so they can all grow with the development of the company. But there is one factor here that when you look at our report, you say that our retention of employees is actually improved, and I'm very pleased about that. But then I also know in the numbers here, there is a difference here in the age groups, and that's where I also look at it, and I have to think, and we all have to work on this, is that in the younger generation, that's where the retention is not that high. And we get quite a lot of young people in, and there is a tendency they leave quite quickly. And that could be by 2 years or something. And that is, of course, a little bit disappointing because you develop them and so on. But what I have seen over time here is that we are very good at keeping the older generation, the ones that have been here for a long time, which is good. But we also need the younger blood to come into our organization. So because, that an organization is like a heart. It needs to pump. It needs to have new blood and all the time, And that's why there's a big emphasis on the younger generations, how we can keep them, how we can develop them. But then I can also say that we have seen some great examples of the younger people leaving WindowMaster, going into some very exciting jobs in some very big companies. And you can say, wow, WindowMaster is not only a good place to be, but it's also a good place to be if you want to go and grow in another company. So it can be a very nice, you could say, very nice part of your trajectory in your career. So key areas, people.
To continue to create innovative products and to continue to keep fresh ideas going, we need different perspectives, and of course, developing the employees that are already there. And development can mean lots of different things for lots of different people. So having a strategic focus on this, and then of course trickling that down into managerial implementation, is exciting to see and also to be part of. But to wrap up, Erik, this conversation, there's one other thing that we decided we wanted to talk a little bit about in our chat today, which is how proud we are, but also give some words into why we're proud of the goal that we've achieved, which is on more of the governance side, which is the signing of our the code of conduct that we rolled out to suppliers. We've hit our goal already on this. Can you give some words into what does this mean for WindowMaster?
Yeah, I would say that some of the goals or KPIs we put into our sustainability report, that we have really done well and are faster than others. And the one that you're mentioning here is we like we do with our customers, we write and sign code of conducts and so on. We also have to pass on to our suppliers and have them to work under the code of conduct. And we have actually achieved that 60% of our suppliers actually have signed, which is a good, it's a good effort. And it's also, you can say, it's probably it's also the large part of our purchasing that is in those 60%. And that's something that we, with code of conduct, we also want to push a little bit more when we talk about our distributors. We see and customers. because we see many of them. We have some big customers. They all have their systems, and we have to sign theirs. But we also have a lot of customers that are smaller companies around in the world. And here, I think it's going to be more going forward. That's probably more a KPI for the future. Is also a scope 3 target that we also get out to our customers and smaller and learn them even more about sustainability and ESG.
So this is another area where even in SMB, you can provide your impact on what you can, the access that you have, the channels that you have. And that's also for our suppliers that we want to help them grow in that aspect as well.
Yeah.
So WindowMaster stands ready to continue to grow, not only ourselves, but also the networks that we have around our customers, our suppliers, our employees. There's so many different stakeholders here that we want to also help educate along the same ride that we're going through.
Yeah.
Been great, Erik, sitting down and having this chat with you about just a few points in the sustainability report. But to close off, just a few closing thoughts to wrap up this conversation. What do you have on mind?
Yeah, I just said, we've talked about some, you could say, few but very important points in this report. But there's a lot more content in it. A lot more about WindowMaster, a lot more about our projects and we've done. But I will also say it's I've seen it now, and it's also a lot of work has gone into it from many people. Of course, there's a project group that works on it, but we also all have to realize that what we do in our daily life has an impact in this report, and even more going forward. And that's why it's always going to be work in progress. It's as I started in the beginning, it's on our path and our sustainability journey that we are on, and we are on a right track.
Thanks for sitting down with me, Erik. It was a pleasure. For those of you out there, please download the reports. And thanks for tuning in and watching our little chat.